this. So cute, I love this picture. Good morning. Hey, warrior. So today we're gonna stretch our bodies, and specifically we're gonna stretch our hips, our hip flexors, our glutes, and in turn that's gonna help relieve a lot of this tightness and stress that we've, I think, all been feeling in our lower backs. A lot of time when you feel stress and strain in your lower back, it actually has nothing to do with your back or your spine. It has to do with the muscles that are around it, that are tight and that are pulling you out of alignment, and then it makes us feel like achy. And that might be also why when we do some different movements in the high intensity warrior team workouts, we could be working your legs, but your lower back starts to become on fire. So we're gonna do a routine today that I do randomly, like throughout the day sometimes, just to feel my hips open up, get some deep breaths going, and just feel better. We're also gonna do a little bit of a breathwork practice just so you can get familiar with where you want to be breathing and how to connect that breathing to your movements. So I'm gonna do a separate class on this, but we're gonna do it together right now just to connect us all. And we're gonna breathe into our bellies. We do this at the end of all the warrior team workouts, and today we're gonna do a little bit at the beginning. So I'm actually gonna have us all lay down on our mats. And you're gonna put your feet on the floor. And you're gonna have one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. When we breathe well and deep, we breathe into our diaphragm, which is the muscle that's right underneath the rib cage. Often, we tend to breathe high and shallow in our chest. And what we want to learn to consciously do so that we start to subconsciously do it is breathe deep into our belly and diaphragm. It's much more, we're able to fill our lungs deeper. We're able to breathe in and intake more oxygen, which then channels that into our cells and gets to all of our organs, like especially our brain, but as well as our muscles when we're exercising. So you're gonna put one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest, and we're gonna just practice feeling in when you take deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, where you can sense that air is going. Do you feel your chest rising? Do you feel your belly rising? Let's just do a few of those. Could be a little of both, but see where one is happening more than the other. And as you notice, I want you to try and direct your breath so that your belly starts expanding like a balloon that you're blowing up. By inhaling, your hand will rise, and then you're gonna exhale and expel all of that air as you pull your belly button down towards your spine, expelling all the air until you have nothing left. And then taking a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it hard through your mouth, all of the air. And again, inhale. Filling up that balloon, that belly balloon, and you're gonna exhale and drive all the air out of that balloon. You should feel your hands sink. You should feel your belly pull into the floor. So you're inhaling, expanding the balloon, making your belly nice and round. Whatever thoughts are coming up about your body and about this is uncomfortable for me to touch this part of my body, and any aesthetic body, like dysmorphic thoughts, we want to let those go and just keep coming back to the action of our breath. I know it can be uncomfortable to connect with your body in this way. Put your hand on your stomach when maybe it's not the part of your body you feel comfortable touching. Just let that go. Focus on the action of the deep inhale and exhale. We're going to do 2 more together. Inhale to the tippity top. Find a little bit more space. And exhale hard. Good job. So we're going to take that breath into all the movements we do. You can come on up. We're going to start standing. Whew. So let's inhale and raise your hands over your head. And exhale and just collapse. Everything relax. Maybe moving your hips from side to side down here. Continuing to breathe. When you breathe in deep, where do you feel it? I feel my lower back expanding, my chest, my ribs. Bend your knees and roll up. Hands over your head. Exhale down. Shifting your weight from right hip to left hip. Roll your neck to the right. And to the left. And roll it up. We're going to go again, hands over your head. This time we're going to make like body circles. So what I mean is you're going to take your arms and bring them way, way back behind you. And then you're going to circle down, making a big circle just around your body. Like a big hula hoop is all the way around from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And as you come up and around, you should feel your stretch in your lower side, in the side of your back. As you reach back, you should push your hips forward. Feel a stretch in your abs, and then come around again. So it's almost like if you want to think of the hands of a clock, that's what we're doing right now. So let's take it in the other direction, clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever the opposite of what you were just doing. Pushing your hips forward at the top, letting everything go when you come down. Good. Okay, so from here, we're going to squat down into your lowest squats, and you're going to rock your hips back and forth, pushing one heel into the ground, and then the other. Feel your knees open up to the side. Let's step our right leg back, and our left leg is outside of your left hand. You're gonna rotate towards the leg that's bent in front. Nice deep inhale, and bring it down. Then you're gonna rotate away from that leg. This one always feels harder for me. Oof. Nice deep inhale. And exhale it down. Step the left foot back, the right foot forward outside of your right hand. Let your hips drop a little bit more, straighten your back leg a little bit. Take a breath here. Open it up towards that leg. Bring the hand down, open away from that leg in the front. Good, we're gonna do it again. So bring the foot back, bring your left foot outside of your left hand and drop your hips a little bit more. Take a deep breath here. Maybe raise your chest a bit. Open up towards that leg. open up that chest a little bit more towards the ceiling. Nice deep inhale and exhale as you come down and switch and open away. Hand down, left foot back, right foot forward. Take a deep breath here. Drop the hips, raise the chest. Connecting to your body. I know I'm leading you, but I also want you to connect with what your body's telling you it needs right now. Maybe it needs an extra second. Open up away from your front leg. Good job. Bring both feet back and let's drop the knees and go into a child's pose. Take 2 deep breaths here and fill this whole part of your back, your lower back, the back of your rib cage. Round your spine. Let's come into just tabletop, so all fours. We're going to do a cat and cow breath. So when you inhale, you're going to round your entire back from your tailbone to the bottom of your head. And when you exhale, you're going to arch your back, bring your chest up, look up slightly. On the inhale, you round your tailbone. I'm even on the tips of my fingers to get a little bit more stretch into the top of my back. Exhale, arch, raise the chest. And again, round it. Letting your whole top of your back, your head, everything round. And exhale, arching. Good, let's take it to a down dog. So for this, you start in plank and push your butt and your hips back and up. Pushing your hands into the floor. We're gonna pedal our feet. So we're stretching our calves, the back of our legs. I also twist my hips when I do this, so I'm getting a little bit of a hip opener as well as a calf opener. And then from here, we are going to allow our body weight to come forward. You can drop your knees, and you're going to squeeze your glutes, your butt cheeks together, and let your hips drop. So your top of your legs are on the ground, but your belly is off the ground, or as much as you can have off the ground is what you want. So we're gonna push one hip into the ground, and then the other. And I'm even rotating my whole body, so I'm looking behind me. One hip. Good, let's push up into that down dog again. So hips go up and back. Take a deep breath here. And as you come forward, you're gonna round your entire spine. So I'm gonna round it, round it, round it, and come forward. Round my whole spine, come forward, then I'm gonna drop my knees and go back into that cobra stretch for my hip flexors, raising the chest. In this position, I actually like to do shoulder circles going backwards. So I'm just rounding my shoulders back, using the floor to push. Good, so from here, let's just drop our whole body, and you're gonna kick your right leg back towards your butt. And if you can grab your, your leggings, you can grab your ankle, you can grab your foot, and you're going to feel a stretch down the front of your leg. We're gonna take a few deep breaths here together. And then when I say go, you're actually gonna kick your leg into your hand as much as you can, keeping the hips on the ground. So it's gonna look like this. You're gonna be kicking your leg back, but you're also gonna be pulling your foot down. So you're creating this resistance. So we're gonna kick together, here we go. Kick back and pull down at the same time, creating this resistance in the front of the leg. Now completely relax, and you're gonna stretch and pull your foot a little bit closer to your butt this time. Pushing your hips down into the ground. Your glutes are squeezing, pushing your hips down. We're gonna kick again. Start where your deepest stretch is. So together, we're gonna take a deep breath in and go. Kick the foot, pull it back at the same time. You should feel tension in the front of your leg. And relax, pull your foot a little bit closer to your butt. Completely release into that stretch. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So let's switch legs. So you're gonna grab your leggings, your ankle, your foot. Give it a little stretch, completely relax into it, wherever that is fine. We're gonna take a deep inhale together and do our kick. Here we go, nice deep inhale. Kick it back and pull it. Pushing your hips into the ground. You wanna feel this in the front of your leg and hip flexor. And release. Pull your foot a little bit closer to your butt. Release into that stretch. Breathe nice and deep into that tension. And we're gonna do it again. Nice deep breath in. Start kicking from your deepest stretch. Here we go. Kick and pull at the same time. Keep kicking, keep kicking, keep kicking. And release. Pull your foot a little bit closer towards your butt. You should have a little bit more room to stretch now. Good job. You can relax and release that foot. All right, so let's move into another hip flexor stretch. I'm gonna double up my mat because my knees don't like the hard floor. So we're gonna be kneeling with your right knee down, and then the left is just bent with your foot flat on the floor. So what we're gonna do for this is allow leading with our hips. So we do this a little bit in class where we tuck our hips under, and right there you should feel your butt tighten up. So we're gonna do that throughout this because when you do that hip tuck, you actually allow this muscle, which is your hip flexor, which goes from the top of your hips all the way up and through to connect to your back here behind your back. So we're gonna tuck our hips and we're gonna lean our body weight forward. So you're gonna start to feel a stretch up the back leg. And we're gonna also raise our arms up and arch back as much as you can, but this is all connecting to you, so there's no comparison to what I'm doing. It's just you feeling into your own body. Nice deep breath in, reach up and back. Let your hips reach forward a little bit more. Every inhale, you reach up. Every exhale, you just ease into that stretch, pushing your hips a little bit more forward. Let's do one more. Inhale up, reach up, up, up. Exhale, pushing your hips forward a little bit more. Good, come back, let's switch legs. So left knee is on the ground now, and right leg is on the floor, or right foot is on the floor. We're gonna find that hip tuck again. So I arch my back, that's not what I want. I tuck my hips under, that's what I want. I'm gonna reach my hands up, push my body weight forward, keeping that hip tuck, looking for that stretch down my back, my left leg this time. Nice deep inhale, reach up. Exhale, push forward. I would say not to force the stretch, but feel where your body is calling for you to push towards. Take a nice deep inhale, reach it up. And exhale, push your hips forward a little bit more. Good, let's switch sides again. We're gonna do this again. And we're gonna add a hamstring stretch. So right knee is down. So this time, we're gonna reach up. You know the drill. Tuck the hips under. Body weight stretches forward. So we're gonna inhale here. And then exhale, push the hips forward. Then you're gonna put your hands down on the ground and sit your hips back. So I'm stretching that left front leg now. So I'm gonna feel a stretch down the back of the leg, the hamstring. Inhale, exhale, and we're gonna come forward again to that hip flexor stretch. So hands go up, hips go forward. And sit the hips back, hamstring stretch. Round your spine, your neck, your head, everything can round. Let's do one more. So this time we're gonna reach up and back like we have been. And you're gonna open up to the right. So you're gonna open up to the leg that's back. So maybe you feel a little bit of a stretch in the left leg, inner thigh this time. Good. Put the hands on the ground. Hips go back for the hamstring stretch. And let's switch our legs. So left knee on the ground, right foot on the ground. Arms are gonna raise, take a deep inhale, reach up, push the hips forward. Hands go down on the ground, sit your hips back, straighten your front leg. Rounding the whole spine. Ooh, I feel this one way more than the other side. Good, let's switch it. So hips are gonna go forward. You're gonna reach your hands up, deep inhale. Exhale, push the hips forward a little bit more. Let's open up to the left this time, towards your back leg. Hands down on the ground, sit the hips back, stretch the back of the leg. Nice deep inhale. The deeper the stretch, the deeper your inhale goes. Let's do one more, hands up overhead. Inhale it, exhale it, push the hips forward. Open it up to the left. Hands down on the ground, hips go back. Good job, you guys. Okay, so we're gonna finish up with a couple more. For this one, I'm actually doubling my mat again. So for this one, we're gonna do a Z-sit. It's also called a 90-90. So you're gonna have your one leg, let's do our left leg bent in front, and our right leg is bent behind. So I look like this. Okay, so let's just start with pushing up off the mat. So you're gonna raise your hips up and push them forward off the mat. If you need balance or whatever, you can totally do that. And then we're just gonna sit it back down. Nice and slow and controlled. You can raise the hips up. Push your hips forward, so you're stretching this whole area here. One hip is internally rotated, one hip is externally rotated. Sit it back down. This time you're gonna reach out in front of you as low as you can get, fine. Nice deep inhale when you reach, and exhale, you're just gonna collapse. Walk your way back, legs stay the same, push up, push the hips forward. Maybe it feels natural for you to twist a little bit here. Sit the hips back down, and you're gonna reach out in front of you again. Maybe it feels natural for you to shift back and forth. Maybe you want to reach to the left a little bit more. We're going to switch our legs. So now the right leg will bend in front and the left leg will bend behind. We're going to do the same sequence. So we're pushing up, pushing the hips forward and back. And this time you're going to reach out in front of you, take a deep inhale and exhale. So when I do this, I'm reaching forward, but I'm also reaching with my hips back. I'm sitting into my butt bone a little bit more, trying to reach, I guess, like my right butt cheek back to the wall behind me. And we're going to come up. You okay? Really? Sweating. Sitting it down. My sister's doing the stretch over there in front of me. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, reach forward, but also reach your hips back. Maybe you want to reach to the side a little bit here. Okay, last thing we're going to do is in this same position, we are going to, how do I do this? Oh, okay. So in this same position, we're going to be moving the back leg. So this is my left leg. So I'm going to be slowly opening that knee up as much as I can. So lifting that knee off the ground. I'm externally rotating my hip here. And then I'm putting it back down. If this is all the range of motion you have, that's fine. But you're really going to use your breath through this. So you're going to inhale it up and then exhale it down. So whatever your range of motion is fine. Just match your breath to your movement, nice and slow and deep. One more. Inhale. This one is really uncomfortable for me. And exhale. Let's switch our knees. So my left leg is coming in front and my right leg is bending behind. We're going to do the same thing with that right leg, so lifting the knee up. Ooh, look at that. It's so much tighter on the side. So I'm really going to use my breath here. It doesn't matter how, it does matter if it's way different than the other side, but everybody's going to have an imbalance where one side feels more flexible, more open than the other. It's just trying to notice it. I'm not trying to make it match my left side right now. I'm just observing that there is a difference. And whatever the right side can do, I'm going to just challenge that a little bit. Inhale as you lift. We'll do a few more. You can put your hands on the ground. Sorry, I didn't mention that before. You can have your hands on the ground. That'll help stabilize you, and you can maybe lean back a little bit more. And then when you feel a little bit more open, you can have your hands off the ground. But putting your hands on the ground is totally fine for this. Good job. Okay, I just really like this one, so we're gonna end here. So I really need to double up my mat for this. So this is a frog stretch. So you're gonna open up your knees as wide as you can make them. And you're gonna allow your forearms to come on the ground. So I'm getting a really deep inner thigh opener right here. So my hips are really opening. I like to move in my stretches. As I think you've noticed, static stretching is not something I do ever. So even if we're holding something, we're adding movement to it, whatever feels natural. I'm just twisting my hips right and left. You can bring your hips forward and try and put them on the ground. And then you can walk your forearms back and move your hips back towards your heels. Walk it forward again. Try and get your hips on the ground. And then walk it back. Let's do one more. Walk it forward. And then walk it back. Pushing your hips back towards your heels. And you're gonna just slowly walk up onto your hands. Inchworm your knees in under you again. And so that we're not tightening up our hips anymore, we're not gonna sit to end, we're just gonna stay kneeling, or you can completely lay down flat like we started. But just to prevent more hip flexion, I'm not gonna have us sit. I'm gonna have us up on our knees. So we're gonna close it out, just connecting and thanking ourselves again for showing up in a different way today, maybe serving our body in a way that we didn't know it needed to be served by. I talked yesterday on my IGTV, the one where I'm wearing the face mask, about how when we're in anxious states or very high stress states, which most of us kind of just operate on as our norm, but especially during this time, when we do high intensity exercise, whether it be for 20 minutes or longer, it's possible that you could actually exacerbate your stress response. So I find this often with people who have autoimmune diseases where they're maybe in a flare-up. If they do something that's actually too high intensity, because exercise is a stress in and of itself, they can trigger a flare-up or they can exacerbate something. So if you find that high intensity movement for you right now is maybe making you more anxious or more scattered, or you're having trouble connecting to your breath, try doing something that is slower, still incorporates movement, but has you move a little bit more fluidly. And for me, when I do this type of movement, I just feel very in tune, calm, I'm trying to think of a word, connected. So trying on different things that may serve you that you have never maybe needed to do before, I would encourage you guys to open yourselves up to. So let's do one hand over the heart, one hand over the belly. We'll take 3 deep inhales. Here we go. Thank you guys for showing up today. Let's close it out. Who are you, warrior? I am strong. I am powerful. I am a warrior. And I'm ready for what's next today. Mwah. Thank you guys for showing up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Ooh, but it feels so good. It feels so much better. Thank you guys. Awesome. Good. This helped with my back. It's a little sore and stiff. Good, Elaine. I'm so happy. This was awesome. Jack just woke up. Forgot how good cat-cow feels. I know. Oh, cat-cow is the best. Thank you guys for showing up. Have an awesome day. Share.